I'll play Florida State, and it wouldn't surprise me if this one is decided in the final moments of the game. But that's a good angle. 56.5. That is pretty high. I guess you're there because of the high level quarterback play that we're all expecting from both of these guys all season long. But yeah, I mean, like we mentioned earlier in the show, if you missed it, and coming off of last night, we had a number of unders hitting. We're only considering unders, right? That's it.
Correct.
I mean, yeah. Thankfully, we talked Paul down off the Nebraska-Minnesota over. Just for this 1 week, as far as totals, it is under or nothing. And I do want to talk about a couple of other unders that we'll get to. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Yes, and it was absolutely it was a dead under game. However,
Dead under. Yeah.
That is a missed field goal away from probably going over.
Michigan and Ohio State, they're the second and third favorites for the make the playoff. I find that interesting because they were third and fourth in the title odds, but they're second and third in the make the playoff odds. And maybe some people are looking at it and saying that they don't think both will get in. The market is saying that both will get in once again. And I bring this up because another market that we have not talked about, I was considering. Just talent-wise and the way the schedule sets up, how they could both be undefeated when they end up playing at the end of the year in the regular season, where both end up making it like they did a year ago. I wonder if people are thinking it's going to be one. I'm not one of those people. It's about a coin flip. Michigan is even money. Ohio State, I saw minus 120 to make the playoff. There's also a bet you can make there where they offer different combinations of teams to make the playoff. I thought that was pretty interesting. Michigan and Ohio State both to make the playoff as the second and third favorites is 4-1. Is that something that would interest you? Because I did find that one pretty appealing at a 4-1 number for both.
I'm not spending a ton of time on, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about like LSU, Florida State. That's the biggest marquee game of the weekend. Fine. But if you want to make money and you want to watch like the under the radar players and teams and things like that, then go to the group of five, go to, some of those lower Pac-12 games, like whatever it is. Like that's all I'm advising.
Right.
To start the show here.
I know we're having some fun, but I'm also realistic.
Well, you're having fun.
And I'm being realistic though too. Like kids are back in school, people are back in the normal flow of work, and there's going to be more of that. And then with college football, I think the reality is a lot of people are doing catch up in these last few weeks. In week one, they're going to sit down and learn a lot about these teams. And there are so many games. If you're someone that is able to sit there all day on Saturday, watch the pregame stuff, watch the games, stay up late for the West Coast games, bet on a lot of this, get ready for Sunday. If you don't have some of those family commitments, like there's a lot of research involved. And that's why they listen to this network. That's why they're watching this network. It's difficult to have a life, work, do family stuff, have other responsibilities, and also bet on, I'll call it 3 different sports at one time if you're including baseball. That's also, part of what I'm getting at here. It is tough for average people to follow and bet and have a decent idea of what they're talking about, what they're doing with all these things going on at once.
We do the work so you don't have to. So the subtle things that we get to that maybe fly under the radar are things that you won't really be watching. Like you may not watch a Brewers Cubs series in September, but we will do the work for you so that there are opportunities involved. So that's the idea here. You watch what you can watch, you do what you can do, so many hours in the day, but don't forget about everything else. Joe, I understand that my sports life is not the same as everyone else's, and what I care about may not be what everyone else cares about. And so I didn't bring this up for the longest time because I don't know how it would be received by our audience, but the time has come, and now I will let it loose and get super excited because SMU is now a Power 5 program, joining the ACC with the likes of Cal and Stanford. I could not be happier about this.
I was wondering when this was going to happen. I had a feeling. I'm like, wait a second. He's sporting the shirt. He's very happy about it. He hasn't said a word all show. 3 hours are almost up. We're heading into the holiday weekend. He hasn't said anything. I knew this was happening.
Joe, you should have opened up Instagram right before the show started then.
Oh,
you would have had it.
Was there a video? What was it? What is it? A story?
Full post straight to the main TL.
Okay, saying, is it
Ed Egros celebrating the move?
Do we
bring back
get
Pony
any
Express?
Did we get any comments? Because I'm always entertained by reading some of the comments on Facebook. So I don't know if
no comments yet. As of right now, no comments.
Yeah, but it's ready to skyrocket at any moment. Let's talk a little college football insights here. From BetMGM, the most bet on games, Colorado TCU. Boy, people love to bet on Colorado one way or the other. I mean, that's wild. LSU, Florida State's the marquee game of the weekend. Ohio State, Indiana in third position. Most bet teams, Colorado plus 20.5. I don't know many people in our space who are backing the Buffaloes in this game. Like, that to me is wild. No. LSU, second most bet on, minus 2.5. Ohio State, minus 30.5. Most bet as far as handles concerned, Colorado again, LSU again, Ohio State again. What stands out to you here, Joe?
Well, that's the Colorado thing is just so fascinating, because in the betting market, how often are we going to get to the true number? Because all of the insights that we've been getting all summer long are about how they're betting the Buffaloes no matter what, liability, all on Colorado because of the high number. I'm going to be interested on fading that team at any point in time. Did you see what Deion said about culture the other day?
No.
It's such an interesting space. He was asked about culture. He said, I'm not welcoming to that word, culture. That's all I heard when I was in Jackson. Culture, 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 culture. Now culture, culture. What the heck does that even mean? And Deion's point was, I think that's a bunch of garbage. And I'm just bringing in the most talented players that I could possibly find. And if we win games, if we're playing well, we're not going to be wasting our time talking about culture. So a lot of these things that many coaches have preached over the years, Deion is not buying into. I am interested to see how it goes and if it's going to change the game elsewhere.